Hey beauty lovers, I'm here. I wanted to highlight for you the translucent powder, and I wanted to highlight different ways that you could use the translucent powder. So our translucent powder is can be used many different ways. So the first way that I wanted to talk to you about was if you have, here's our translucent powder. If you have, it's a really beautiful powder, oily eyelids. This tends to be an issue, even especially for in the summertime. Then the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to apply our eye primer. Okay, you want to put the eye primer on, and then you want to set it with the with the translucent powder. So you'll get your brush, dip it in, and you'll set your eye primer with the translucent powder, and that's going to help control the oils throughout the day on your eyelids. Okay, the second way you can use your translucent powder is to set your eyeliner. So you can do that with an eyeliner brush. Here. You just dip it in, and you can just set your eyeliner. So it and then on the bottom as well, or you can just take what I do a lot of times is dip my finger and then just kind of go right under here to set the eyeliner, so that way it doesn't run, and it kind of almost not waterproofs it, but it makes it water resistant. Okay, so that's another great way to use the translucent powder. The third way is for shadow fallout. So you'll take your take a brush, or we have our blending sponge, which is a really great to use for this. And you'll dip, and you'll just kind of spread right under here, okay? And that will, what that's going to do is as you put your eyeshadow on, any fallout that comes down, you'll just brush it away afterwards, which is great. Now, in addition to that, what you can also leave that on, and that's called baking. And what baking is essentially you're setting your makeup and you're making it flawless. So if that is a technique that you want to use, then I'll say a couple of tips for this. Okay, number one, you want to make sure that you are very hydrated underneath your eyes, because if there's any little fine lines, then the powder can get in there and it'll accentuate it a little bit more. First of all. Secondly, when you put your foundation on and your concealer, use your finger to make sure that you really pat it to make sure that none of it is settling in the fine lines before you put the powder on. Okay, so you want to make sure that all that is smooth. So when you put the powder on, as you put it on, it's going to go on. Sorry, let me use my other brush here. You're going to put it on, and it's going to go on and just kind of set everything where it's smooth and it doesn't go into the creases. Okay, so that's a tip there for that one. And lastly, another great way to use your translucent powder, and especially if you're in a bind, but say you're running out the door and your hair is a little greasy, you don't really have time to wash it, take some translucent powder, put it in there, fluff it up, and it's perfect. It's going to absorb the oils, because that's what the translucent powder does. It takes down the shine, it absorbs the oils, and it gives you that filtered, flawless look. I hope that you love the translucent powder as much as I do, because I absolutely love my translucent powder. So I hope this helped you with a little bit more on some tips on how to use the translucent powder. And if you have a way that you use the translucent powder that was not mentioned, please share in the comments, because I want to know. I want to know more ways that you use your translucent powder.